people are saying that it's not, there's no way it's going to happen. At the minute in my head I'm thinking, hello, we are back for another video, and today is going to be all around brick sessions, which means going from a bike straight into a run with no rest in between. So today's session, as I said, is a brick, so we're going to be going from a 1 hour steady state on the bike on the indoor trainer. The weather's actually a lot nicer this week compared to last week. There's no snow, no ice on the ground, so I do believe within the next few weeks, once it hits March, I will actually be out on the roads finally, as opposed to just on the indoor trainer. But for now, Zwift, 1 hour steady state, 210 watts for that 1 hour, and then we're going to quickly get changed and then we're going to go straight out for a run. I'll double check the exact workout, but I do believe it is 10 minutes steady pace warm up, and then we're going into some intervals of zone 4, zone 5, so really getting up to that around 6 minutes per mile or sub 6 minutes per mile for 2.5 minutes with a 5-minute rest. So it'll be 2.5 minutes fast, around 5 minutes slow. I think, again, I'll double check that and put it on the screen, and I think it's for 5 or 6 rounds. So that's somewhere around an hour and 45 minutes of total work time. So I am really new to these brick sessions. I've only done a couple now. I did one last week, which was tough, and obviously this one today. To be honest, I didn't find it that hard last week. I thought my legs would feel a lot heavier, but I think with bricks, as I said to someone the other day, is you bypass the sort of initial 5 to 10 minutes on the run when you're initially getting the heart rate up, when you don't fully feel into the run yet. So you bypass that bit, because obviously your heart rate's being elevated on the bike, so you just go straight into the run. So in terms of your breathing, you're feeling pretty much good and ready straight away. The only thing is, obviously, your legs are feeling heavy and you're feeling like you're stuck in the mud. So that's the most difficult part of the whole brick. But we're going to start the bike now, 1 hour steady state before the run. Let's go. Okay, so that's the steady state done, 1 hour. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say easy, but steady. Get the heart rate up, get a good sweat on, and now I'm going to finish off my bottle with 50 grams of carbs in, have a gel, and then get off for the run. Like I said, weather's good, so looking forward to this sort of, and then I can feed up with a big lunch of pasta. Okay, so that is the run and bike done. Bike obviously done first, and just finished the run now. It was pretty windy today, to say the least. So doing those 2 minute and 30 seconds intervals at around a 5:50, 6 minute per mile pace is not pretty when you're going into that headwind. When you've got a tailwind going with the wind, it is glorious. You feel like you're gliding along, it's great. So in total it was a 45-minute session. I think it was like 15 minutes warm up, and then 2 minute 30 seconds fast pace with a 5 minute really slow pace. Repeating that 4 times and then a 5 minute cool down. So in total, like I said, after the bike session, an hour and 45 minutes, feeling really good, not gonna lie. I would almost say, if anything, I'd say I actually run almost better running off the bike. And as I touched on before, I think when I'm running off the bike, my heart rate's already up, so I sort of skip the phase where I've got to settle into the run and get my breathing settled at a constant level. So when I'm straight off my bike, I'm already warm, I'm already ready to go. So I'd argue that I actually run almost better off the bike if I'm fueled properly. If I'm not fueled properly, I can really tell the difference. But yeah, really enjoyed that. Fitness levels are probably at an all-time high at the minute. Feeling great. Like I said, going to get home now, have a big lunch and feed up. Okay, so I just wanted to come on and chat a little bit about the Ironman and my training, how it's currently going around. I think this is the 4th week of the Ironman training plan that I'm following, from 80-20 endurance. So this week is a little bit of a deload week, meaning the volume and intensity is, well, actually the volume is slightly reduced, but my intensity has ramped up a little bit purely because they're reducing volume. So I think this week on the plan there's only like 5 to 6 hours of prescribed training. Obviously that's without the swimming. Instead of the swimming, we're doing strength training. I just want to sort of give a little overview on my thoughts of the training and how it's going up to now, and whether the event on the 4th of July is actually going to go ahead. I do have sort of mixed feelings about, you know, some days when you look on the Facebook groups you think, oh, there's a good chance it is going to go ahead. Then there's a lot of people saying, oh, there's no chance it's going to be going ahead. So I think at the minute it's one of those where the last 3 weeks of training have been going really well, and I'd probably say my fitness levels are probably at an all-time high. Feeling great at the minute, as you've probably seen in one of the earlier clips. So after that brick session yesterday, once I finished that run, I did feel pretty good afterwards, and I was just thinking, like, my fitness levels have come on so much over the last 6 months or so. Obviously the last 4 weeks of where I have been following the exact training program tailored to the Ironman, but over the last 6 to 8 months I've incorporated obviously running, then I got my bike, then I started swimming, which again is a massive area where I need to improve on. My fitness levels and my endurance and my aerobic capacity has come on leaps and bounds compared to where it was, and sometimes I think I need to just sit back and reflect on how much improvements I've actually made. Because if I think back to this time last year, coming up to my birthday, the birthday's in a few weeks time, February 2020, if I compared my fitness levels then compared to now, it is completely different. Obviously I was doing a lot of weight, strength training, 6 days a week, the odd bit of running here and there, but compared to what I do now, it's nothing. And I think sometimes I need to just sit back, reflect and see, and actually just to notice how far I have come with my fitness levels. Because I think sometimes when you're sort of in the mix of it, you don't really reflect on how much improvements you're actually making. You're constantly looking forward to where you want to go and not how far you've actually come and where you're at this present moment. So overall, I'm really happy with my improvements over the last year. But over the last 3 weeks, like I said, I have been doing the Ironman specific training program, and obviously what I've noticed is the increase in volume as well. So going from an hour and a half on the bike has been my longest ride to now doing like 2.5 hours like I did on the Saturday just gone. They're the sessions which really do build that aerobic base, aerobic capacity, so you can actually last for the duration of the Ironman, obviously on the day. Obviously I know those sessions are the ones which are really actually helping me quite a bit with improving my fitness levels and taking my stamina to that next level. So they're the main things which I've noticed: the longer rides, the runs is pretty much exactly what I was doing before starting the training program. So the runs, maybe a little bit more intervals, but apart from that, the running is pretty similar to what I was doing before, so that isn't too much of a change. And that leads to me, as I was saying, is the Ironman on the 4th of July actually going to go ahead? Because when I'm looking on the Facebook pages, a lot of people are saying that it's not, there's no way it's going to happen. At the minute in my head I'm thinking, as long as I'm training and sticking to the plan, I know that the cycle and the run, I should be okay on the day. Obviously the biggest fear for me is the swimming at the minute. If we can't get back into the pools until, let's just say, April, that means I'm only going to have 2 to 3 months of training in the pools again before I'm doing the Ironman distance, which is 2.4 miles. And if I'm totally honest, that does scare me a little bit. Can I complete 2.4 miles of a swim after barely training in swimming at all and being a complete beginner? I don't know. I'd like to think I can, but if it was cancelled, would I be really bothered? And the answer is yes, but if it was deferred a few months, say if it was set back to say September, October time, that would probably be an ideal scenario, because it'd let me build up my miles and build up the length in the pool, so I could be a lot more confident with my swimming. So that'd probably be ideal scenario if I'm honest, if it was pushed back at like say 2 to 3 months. Will that happen? I don't know. As I said yesterday, I feel like I performed pretty well running off the bike, and as soon as we can get back in the pools, I know for a fact that I'll take my progress to the next level even more, so I can incorporate all 3 of the disciplines, and then on the day I'll be feeling good. So yeah, I just wanted to sit down and talk a little bit about the actual Ironman itself, whether it's going to go ahead. So I feel like you can get yourself into a little vortex of information, and you're constantly switching from side to side thinking that it is going to go ahead and then it's not going to go ahead. But whatever happens, I'm sure that I'll perform my best on the day. So thank you for watching this video. Like I said, this video was a little bit more of a vlog style, a little bit of a brick session and a little bit of a sit down video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit subscribe, and any questions you've got, put them in the comments. And I've also got my social media links within the description as well if you want to follow me on Strava or Instagram.